Hi, yogis. It's Becca Pati. Namaste. I'm so grateful to be able to spend a few more moments with you. I'm in the most phenomenal place in the world, which is Cyprus. If you've never been, you should put it on your bucket list. I've just taught a couple of workshops here, from bliss to bullshit and back again, and they were successful simply because the energy was absolutely fabulous, and I got a chance to share my gifts, which is what I love to do around the world. Also doing some energetic, intuitive, therapeutic massages. And so I thought I would do a little bit of self-care as well as spend some time with you. So you can see behind me, I've got this beautiful little yoga platform deck kind of thing going on, and it's just off of the house of my good friend Vanessa, who hosts me out here every year, and I'm so grateful for her. Without her, this would not be happening for sure. So I know you're watching, Vanessa, so thank you very much, sweetheart. Today's specific yoga class is going to be a variety of energies. So if you are new to yoga, you can probably follow along a little bit. You might just have to modify. If you're an intermediate, this will be probably more up your alley. An advancement, you might want to just add on a few of your own extra stuff that you like to do in your practice. So this is called There is Light, Love, and Freedom at the End of the Tunnel. And I've called it that because, to be quite honest with you, I have felt probably over this last 6 months that I've been going through the tunnel and I can barely see a light at the end of it. There's been a lot of really kind of sad family things going on in my world, where there's been a little bit of separation and feeling a little bit alone, like as if my own family is no longer supportive of where I'm at and what is going on in my own healing journey. And so I know that there's many of you who also are moving through some really severe or moderate or mild issues, problems, and circumstances, whether it's with work or with people that you are that are just in your immediate circle, or maybe it's with your own family. I understand. And sometimes when we're walking through that tunnel, what happens is it actually feels like all you can see is just exactly what's in front of us, because it feels dark. It can feel lonely. It can feel like you're moving through something that no one else is. And so you try and talk about it, just with your friends or whoever's around you. And it sort of feels like there's no real answers being given, because of course we are our own, we only know what's best for us and how we're going to move through it. So it's really challenging for others to constantly be giving us advice unless they're trained, in those areas. And so I myself have gone through a lot of energetic healing, as well as processing and really trying to separate my ideologies, like my reality, from my misperception. When we move away from the things that no longer serve us or don't seem to make sense for us, it can be really, really painful. It can feel harmful almost, because what's comfortable is staying stuck, right? And I know some of you are like, what? But just hear me out. It actually is sometimes more comfortable to stay in the shitty shit that we're going through, because it's what we know. And when we start walking through that tunnel and you can kind of see that little pinprick of sunlight shining in, it feels like there's hope, but it also feels really hopeless because you're still smothered in darkness. But the thing is that the uncomfortability is moving through those things that are unknown to us. And I completely understand that, because that's what it is. It's the fear of the unknown. I don't know what the next 1 month, 2 months, next day is going to hold after I start the healing process. But what I do know is that as we walk closer to that little bit of light, that little bit of, I think that over there, I'm going to feel a little bit better, the light starts to broaden. And that we get to a place where we go, oh my goodness, and maybe we end up being showered with love and light. And I promise you, the emotional freedom that we have when we actually learn to let go of the shit that holds us back is like phenomenal. And I'm not saying I'm completely there, my friends. I'm not going to lie and say that I don't cry. I don't have moments where I'm sitting there going like, what the hell happened in my life here? Like, why is this so challenging? But at the same time, I don't want to be in the tunnel. Like, I don't want to be in the darkness sitting there where I'm just like feeling so lonely and so helpless. I want to walk towards the light, keep moving forward, even if it's 1 foot in front of the other. And like a half a foot, maybe that's where we start. Maybe we start crawling. Maybe we start sort of pulling ourselves along with our arms. Maybe eventually we get up on our feet and start walking. And if you can see the light and you know what's over there, maybe you'll choose to run. but we need to move through what we need to move through instead of running away. There is light, there is love, and there is freedom at the end of that tunnel. So let's get onto our mats and look at how we can incorporate those messages into our mind and our body and our souls as we flow today. So come with me. Let's come up onto the top of our mats. And I'm just going to place my hair up here. It has become quite wild over the last few days. Probably should give it a good wash here. Okay. So today's class is really, again, usually an intermediate flow, but of course for those advanced beginners or people who just want to give it a try, just do whatever feels good for you. There's no judgment on my part. I do want to show you my new tank top that I bought. I absolutely love it. Namaste, right? And this is what we're doing. We're Namaslaying our lives instead of staying stuck. So again, let's come up to the top of our mats. And we'll move it through the base of the toes to touch, really flexing up through the thighs and feeling like you're pulling up Earth's energy. Part of what we forget sometimes is that we're not alone, even if we don't have the friends and family around us to always help us and nurture us through it. What's happening is that we can rely on universal love. We can rely on the earth, the air, the water, and the fire that's all around us, the sun, right? So let's roll the shoulders back with the palms just face neutral so that we're not in a position that's too strict for ourselves. Let's take an inhale, rise the arms up, take the gaze up as well. The palms can come to touch, and let's take an easy forward fold. Bend the knees, soften it down. Maybe let your hands go ragdolling down to the floor. Let the head go side to side. Your shoulders might be moving a little bit as well, noticing how that feels. That subtle little movement in your body as opposed to being rigid is going to give your body a lot more freedom in the practice of yoga than being super stiff. Okay, so just noticing maybe you start to pedal out your feet a little bit, getting into the hamstrings. No joke. Hours on the plane, right? Really into the hamstrings and into the hips for sure. So let's inhale to a half lift. I'm going to start with my hands and my shins, but you might be open enough to take your fingertips down to the floor or peace fingers. Roll back your shoulders, collarbones and heart broaden towards me, okay? And so as we do this, the crown is reaching forward, sit bones roll back. Can you come forward into the base of the toes slightly so that the heels are grounded, but there's a little bit of lightness. And then exhale, take a forward fold. Let it go. Soften the head, look back behind you, come up to standing. Inhale, rise. The arms reach. Palms will come to touch. Exhale, forward fold again. This time, soften down. Let your arms reach back behind you, up towards the ceiling or the sky. Come all the way back up. So you can either roll or swan dive. Up we go, lengthening the arms, opening up into a little funnel. Exhale, palms to touch. Bring yourself down into forward fold. Let your arms reach back behind you. Up they go. If you have a little more space, you can interlock your palms. Press them up towards the sky. Or I should say your palms will kind of come together, but your fists will press up towards the sky. And just noticing how that feels, the openness of your shoulders. Let your chin tuck in. Look back behind you. So we're lengthening the back of the neck and the heart. Then lower your hands to your low back. And again, we'll rise ourselves up, creating that funnel shape with the arms, opening up, sending your heart space high. And then exhale, let's bring that energy right down into the heart space, interlocking your hands around your right knee. So I always mirror in my class. So if it looks like it's my left leg, it is, but we just should go in the same direction, okay? So your right knee comes up and in. You're gonna go side to side like this. And maybe today your knee is down low. Who cares? Really, this is not a competition. This is about getting to where you need to go. So we'll hold it out here, maybe lift the heart. So really notice what's going on with your left knee. Press it up and in and rise your heart high. And then take a look towards the left-hand side as you send your right knee over towards the right side, left hand reaches. So pause it out here. Let's inhale, hold. Exhale, bring it to center, hand to knee. Inhale, flare open, let your heart go high. Exhale, bring it together. Again. Inhale, open this up, let the gaze go over. Oh, my balance is off. And exhale, bring everything together, a little bit of a tuck up into the knee. We've got tree pose, simple, easy, yeah? Your options are to kickstand. Take your foot just below the knee. Please do not put any pressure on the knee joint and slide your foot all the way up. Watch this left hip so that we're not hanging out. Solidify, pull all of your energy to the midline and bring your palms to touch. Namaste. Yeah. So if you can feel like you're actually visualizing yourself slowly, methodically, walking through that tunnel, you don't have to worry about finding an external gaze. Find the internal gaze. Maybe it's third eye. That is the best light source that we have, isn't it? So one more big breath in here. And as you exhale, let's slide the leg all the way across into figure four, gently getting into the right hip, okay? So your foot needs to be flexed, and then we'll sit her down. So you can feel the hip, right? I mean, I've got really tight hips. You might be like, nah, it's not too bad. That's okay. We're different, and that's all right. So we sit down. And then maybe some of you can take your peace fingers down to the floor, or even fingertips, that's fine. And maybe you just let the head go. There's so many different ways you can do the same thing, so there's no right and wrong as long as you're not hurting yourself. One more big breath in here. Good. And then very slowly you'll bring your palms all the way up, so keep the balance. Your knee comes up without using your hands. Let's step back right foot, okay? To the back, we've got crescent lunge. Inhale, rise your arms high. Can you draw your rib cage down and in so your pelvis is super neutral? Your fingertips are rising. Maybe the gaze elevates slightly. Beautiful. Exhale, take your hands down to the floor. With control, lift up the core and step back to an upper plank position, grounding down your palms. So you can feel the upper back rising up towards the ceiling. Inhale, we're holding here. Exhale, take it down, chaturanga or floor. 90 degrees only, upward dog cobra. Open up the heart space. And exhale, back into a downward facing dog. There's a little dog that wants to get out and play at this moment. Yoko. One more big inhale here. Let's come up high onto our toes. We'll settle down into child's pose. So if you want to take your toes, point them together, knees go wide. I'm just going to let Buddy know. Not right now, okay? Little bit later. Little bit later. All right, so we'll soften down the chest. So if you do hear some barking or some clawing, it's just her over there. But really ground down your palms and soften your heart space further towards the floor. And maybe let your third eye, so that's the space between the eyebrows, right? Let it settle down towards the earth. And you kind of press your bum back towards the heels a little bit further. So one more big inhale here. And then as you exhale, take the gaze forward, slide your heart forward into a half plank position, tuck your toes under, upper plank position, send your hips back, downward facing dog. So strong here. So this might be the first, well, this is the second dog, but notice if your legs are tight, if you've got issues in the hips, maybe pedal it out. I don't know, sometimes I like to stay still in my downward dog and just breathe into the discomfort. That's not always my favorite, but you might enjoy that. So can you watch that you're taking the outer shoulders and rolling them away from your face? So they're not curled up towards the sky, they're actually moved down towards the earth, but the inner hand is rooted. Let your head go in between the arms. One more big inhale here. Look forward. You can either take that little hop, step, jump all the way up to the top of the mat. You'll land into a half lift. Inhale to your half lift. Exhale to a forward fold. Come up to standing. We swan dive up. The palms touch. Exhale, hands into the center. Let's do this again. Inhale, rise on up. Exhale, palms touch. Drag it all the way down. Interlock, less dominant grip. Balance on your right side. You've got it. You got your left knee comes up and in. Yeah, so you might choose to kind of move the knee side to side and see how that feels. Yeah, I don't know. I've got some stuff going on in my quad. I didn't warm up as well as I should have for my workshops the other day. So I think I'm still suffering a bit from that. So just hold here for a moment. Lift up in through the core. You find that proud pose because we're proud to be who we are. Zero apologies, my friend. Remember that. Zero apologies, even as you're walking through the tunnel. Okay. Let your left knee go wide. Let your right hand go long. Inhale, hold it here. Might even look towards the side. Exhale, bring the two to touch. Inhale, look over to the right, send your knee left. Exhale, bring it to touch. Inhale, open this up. Exhale, bring it together. This is the last time. Here we go. Inhale, leg goes out and the arm goes wide, hold. And then eventually we'll make our way to tree gaze goes forward. You can bring your foot where you feel appropriate. Your palms come all the way to touch. Remember this right hip. Let's slide it all the way in. Squeeze everything to the midline. You can actually feel your core really strong. Maybe lift the gaze. Beautiful. You might even be advanced enough to sort of peel your toes away from the legs so you're not clenching, which means that the arch sort of collapses. Let the arch always be free as much as you can. Lengthen the heart. Nice, and then eventually we'll start to slide the ankle over, sit it down into that chair pose with the figure four leg. We sit down. But maybe today, hip injury, you stay up, okay? Otherwise, you're down. And you can take your peace fingers, fingertips to the floor. I'm going to hang out here for a few breaths. So just noticing how this feels in that hip. Maybe you're dropping out the hip. Could you actually allow your hips to be more neutral? One more big inhale here. And then slowly the chest comes away from the thighs. Palms come to touch. Knee comes up and in, and step it back all the way to crescent lunge. Arms high. Pull the rib cage down and in. Really solidify the core, because that gives us a lot of that kind of inner power to keep moving forward, right? One more big inhale. And as you exhale, hands down to the floor. Utilize that nice sort of angry cat back and step it back. Upper push-up flow, chaturanga or floor. Rise, little cobra, cobra. You can even take your shoulders, roll them back a few times if you have the space, and right into downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, your right leg goes high to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale, take knee towards upper arm, right side. So come forward and tap, okay? You need to look forward. Inhale, send the right leg up and back, three-limb dog. Now, as you look forward, tent up your left fingertips. Your foot's moving to the outer edge of the pinky. Come forward and step your right foot all the way to the outer edge of the pinky. Are you ready? Here we go. Inhale, come up high, but straighten out your legs as your arms go up. Take your right hand down. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthen. It's almost like the whole left side of your hip all the way to your armpit wants to get more of the stretch. So lengthen the arm up. Inhale. Exhale, squat slightly, palms to touch prayer. You got this. Inhale, elevate. Left hand up, right hand down. Come up so high on the back toes, right? Give yourself that freedom. Exhale. Again. Inhale, elevate. Good. And exhale, we'll hold here. This time, palms to touch. You got option A, hands to the knee, hip. Otherwise, elbow goes to the knee, and you bring your palms to touch, taking the gaze all the way back behind you. Yeah, does that feel okay? If not, how can you change this? Maybe you have to come up with just the hands on the knee and the hip, right? So no judgment. Don't worry, right? Sometimes we have to back up to go forward. There are some truths I don't really like, but that is one of them. So one more big breath in here. And then we'll move this to a modified side plank. Here we go. Left hand goes to the outer edge of the mat, right in line with your right foot. Take your back foot, bring it all the way around, and now you've got a modified side plank facing me, okay? You're probably not going to see my head very well. So we'll hold here. It's just a little bit more of a narrow balcony, so you get it. Lift your hips up, hold here. If you want to take it a little bit further, take your fingertips behind your ear. Your elbow points up towards the sky, and your torso goes up. Then your top leg, which is your right one, comes up. Point the toes behind your leg and lift up your hips high. Okay, so it's kind of like a wild thing, but keep facing forward slightly. It's like you want to take your right hip up more so. Beautiful. Hang out here for 3. Good. Hang out here for 2. Hang out here for 1. Now just use your hand to your hip for support. Take your right foot, ground it all the way back down, warrior 3. Flip the heart forward towards me. Fingertips to the earth, left leg goes high. I like peace fingers, but you might choose to use your fingertips to the floor. Extend up your heel. Now, if you were to look behind you, your second toe is facing down, okay? So inhale to hold here. Exhale, point away your top foot, and you'll roll it down so that your shin lands down to the floor. And now we're seated. Can you have about a fist width between your foot and your knee? We're twisting right. Right fingertips behind. Open up your heart. Inhale, up you go. Exhale, elbow to the outer edge or hug. I really like this posture. It gets into a variety of small little areas into the body. Might even get an adjustment, right? Nice. So lots of breath. We're holding here for 3. Good. Holding here for 2. And then holding here for 1. Bring yourself all the way around, fingertips to the floor. Take your right leg out long. Keep sitting your bum down sort of so that the heel on the left is in between your butt cheeks. Inhale, come up, and exhale, take it to the forward fold. You can pull on your foot if you want. I don't know. Does it really fucking matter? You know, you can do your hands down. I find a little bit of softness sometimes helps us move a bit even deeper into the postures, right? More breath. Less struggle. Yeah, less struggle, my friends. Okay, one more big breath in here. And then slowly you'll start walking your hands all the way back upright. You'll bring your foot down towards the floor, eagle legs. Are you ready? We're coming up slowly with a little bit of wibble wobble, palms to touch. Left leg goes all the way around. And maybe today you're here. You could also be with your foot to the outer edge. Some of you have that leg wrap. Now watch, legs not right, legs to center, and sit hips down. Eagle arms, let's take left arm underneath right. Lift the elbows up and hold here for 3. Hold here for 2. Hold here for 1. Slowly take your elbows all the way down towards your knees. Can you hang out here? And maybe you slide your elbows across to the outer edge of the knee and take a subtle gaze over towards the left-hand side. I know, it's not easy, right? So one more big breath in here. And as you exhale slowly, okay, come all the way back upright. Okay, that was almost a little epic fail. And bring your palms to touch. But really, fail, right? See, notice the word I used, right? So let's bring the knee all the way in and step it back into your crescent lunge. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, palms come down to the floor. Let's step it back, a downward dog. So allow your hips to move with that freedom. You're going to notice a big difference between the right and left sides. Can you walk your hands back towards your feet? Walk, 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 all the way back. Inhale, we bring the palms to shins or peace fingers to floor. You got this. Exhale, forward fold. Good, come up to standing, swan dive, but we go. Exhale, sit down, Utkatasana, chair pose. Left elbow goes to the outer edge of your right knee. Watch that your hips haven't done that little maneuver over towards the left. Can you keep your bum center and then sit down lower, look over right? Good, now come up high onto your toes and just see if you can hold that shape for 3. Hold here for 2. Hold here for 1. Slowly let your heels come down to the floor. Bring yourself center, stand upright, interlock your palms, press them up to the sky. Let's get into those knuckles, yeah? So as you press up, go over right. You're doing great. Good, bring yourself back to center. We're swaying over towards the left. Bring yourself all the way back. Palms to touch, sit it back down. All right. I don't know if you can hear her breathing. All right, so inhale here. Exhale, right elbow to the outer edge of the knee. Nice, and then maybe again, you don't have to, but see if it's possible to come high onto the toes and hang out here for 3. Good, for 2. And then for 1, you're lowering the heels all the way back down. Bring it to center. Come all the way back upright. Opposite grip. Go high with the palms. Head in between the arms. Go left this time. Roll back your right shoulder. Roll forward your left. Come all the way back up. Go over right. Same thing applies. If you're collapsing, let your left shoulder go back. Right shoulder go forward. Yeah, you're doing awesome. Okay, bring yourself all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to that half lift, lengthen up, up, up. Exhale, palms down. Let's walk it to downward dog, okay? So bring those hips up and back. Keep the core super strong. Indexes, thumbs rooted to the earth. Upper arms roll away from your ears. Inhale, take your left leg high. Exhale, it's knee towards upper left arm or tricep or elbow or wrist, whatever you got, okay? And then bring the leg all the way back up. And exhale, look forward, tent up your right fingertips, and step your left foot all the way to the outer edge of your right pinky side. All right, are we okay there? Perfect. Now, inhale, come up high and straighten out through the thighs. All right, it is left hand down. Here we go. So keep the feeling of reaching towards the ceiling and coming high onto your back toes. You can even kind of let the hips move so you get more of a stretch on your right side. Let's breathe. Inhale to hold. Exhale, take your lunge, palms to touch. Good. Inhale up. Exhale. Again, you got this. Inhale, elevate. And exhale, let's hold it out here. Your options, you know them. Hand to the hip and knee. Otherwise, palms to touch and the elbow comes to the outer edge and look back behind you. Good, we're holding here for 3. Holding here for 2. Beautiful. And then for 1, the modified side plank, we're taking the hand all the way to the floor. I'm just gonna slide my foot in a little bit so I'm not completely off camera. And take your back leg, bring it around so you're facing me. Inhale, open up. Maybe you stay here, I love it. Ground your bottom palm down and reach for the light. Even if it's just the smallest little pin of light in your periphery, you reach for that. That allows us to keep the faith, okay? Right? So we keep reach. Maybe fingertips behind the ears, elbow up. And then maybe you take top leg, step it back behind. You've got a pressing in with your foot and lift up the heart. Nice, holding here for 3. Holding here for 2. Hold here for 1. Let your hand come to your hip. Bring your hips down to neutral, and then the top leg comes all the way over. Ground down, warrior 3. Heart comes towards me. Fingertips or peace fingers lengthen up. Hello. Good. So again, you can flex down your foot. So what that looks like, right, is you're, instead of having your foot way out to the side like this, draw your toes straight down to the floor. Very, very important there. All right, one more big breath in here. And as you exhale, point away your top foot and roll down yourself onto your shins. Walk your hands back. Left fingertips to the floor. Inhale goes right arm high. Exhale, elbow to the outer edge of the knee, or you take that little hug, okay? We want to sit up tall. Roll back the shoulders. Let the gaze go behind you. Of course, if you have neck injury, don't do that, right? We have to sometimes really think for ourselves as yoga teachers. If we don't have the injuries or the issues in the body that, of course, all of our students have, we won't always know to say the cues. So a lot of it has to come from our own, can I do this? Is this important to me? Is this what I need to do in my body today? And can I breathe? If you can't breathe through this, just back up a little bit, okay? So one more big breath in here. And as you exhale, bring it to center. Your left leg slides forward. Let your hips sort of move so your heel slides to the inside of the butt cheeks. Inhale, slide up the heart. You've got it. Exhale, take it to forward fold. Again, you can, if you want to just, it might even be not pulling with your hands to foot. It might be simply chesting out like more of a balance thing, right? So you might prefer that. Never know. All right, one more big breath in here, getting into that left hammy. The heart goes long, shoulder blades roll back and soften, and then walk your hands back all the way into our eagle pose. Now, I know this is a tough transition. Use your hands if you need, obviously, or change it up, whatever works best for you. Foot comes down. Eventually, we kind of roll ourselves up. Allow your right foot to come up and around. Your foot goes where it's going to go. Watch the knees don't go left so much. If you have to move your foot, of course, do that. Sit down. And then right arm goes underneath left. I'm not sure what's happening there. Maybe a little bit of landscaping. All right, one more big breath in here. Exhale, take your elbows down towards your knee. I know that's a tough transition, but hold here for 3. I'm sweating a little bit. For 2. Good. And then for 1, slowly you'll bring yourself all the way back upright. Release the hands. Palms come to touch. Come all the way back up. Let's step the foot to the back of the mat. Inhale, arms rise, my friends. You've got this. Exhale, hands come down, step up to the top of the mat. Keep your hands to the floor. Widen out your toes slightly and sit down, Balasana. So for some of you, you have to be up onto the tippy toes. That's totally fine. Noticing that there is a bit of pressure from your knees pressing in while your arms go out. Yeah? Okay, one more big inhale here. We're moving into a couple different variations of crow before we start to just take her down, okay? So you can come up onto your toes and walk yourself back so that you have your mat more so in front of you than the floor if that's what you need, okay? So the option is always regular crow. Your palms down, your bum lifts, you find your knees to the back sides of the arms, and you press forward. Your toes need to surrender up towards your bum, and then you can lower down and try that again. If you're wanting to do an uneven crow pose, on your fingertips or palms, you have the option. Okay, so we'll drop down our left forearm. Our right fingertips land to the floor. Now your arms are not going to be the same length as mine, so we can't do the same, okay? So you have to find where the hand placement is for you. As you lower down, your knee goes to your arm, your other knee goes on top of the arm, and you lift up. and you hold here for 3. You hold here for 2. Maybe your palm is flat. Hold one more big breath in. You guys got this. Exhale, lower down the feet. Let's just simply switch it up. Okay. Right forearm down. So exciting. Okay. Left fingertips tent up. We got this. We're doing it. This isn't one that I do very often, to be honest with you, and honest with me. That's kind of important too. All right. So let's slowly come up. Ooh, this side's a bit challenging. For 3, for 2, for 1. Lower yourself all the way back down, Malasana. So I'm going to stay on my toes in this one. Drop down the heart a little lower. Fingertips go wide. Forehead makes its way further to the floor. Beautiful. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, walk your hands all the way out in front of you. Just be careful, settle your bum down towards the floor. Let the legs sneak out in front of you. Let's inhale, rise the arms high into Paschimottanasana, forward fold, soften the knees. You can grab onto your feet, ankles, or just drop your palms by your legs, that's fine. Make sure that your big toe mound is pushing forward and your pinky toe kind of curls back towards you, okay? Soften the knees to make it easier if you have injury or whatever, issues in hips or something. Pull the belly in, inhale, we'll open up. Exhale, core draws in, and we come down a little bit deeper. Nice, and we'll roll our spines coming all the way back up. Let's go Dandasana, elevate up. Flex up through the heels, maybe rise them up off the floor. One last big breath in. Exhale, palms come all the way to touch into the heart space. Let's draw in the knees, take your right leg in front of your left, easy cross-legged. Inhale, left arm goes high, bring your palm to your knee, take a twist. Walk around towards right, fingertips reaching forward, forward, forward. And let's take the twist over. It's kind of like a side bend over towards the left-hand side. Grounding down through the right knee a little bit more. Beautiful. We'll walk it back to center. Peel up the heart. Arms reach forward, lean back. Lift the legs with crossed ankles. Just hold. Maybe the legs come up a little bit higher. Switch over. Take your left leg in front. Inhale, right arm rises. Left hand is down. Draw your palm towards the knee and open up in a twist. And then eventually we reach the fingertips out left. Maybe you, however you want to crawl over, doesn't really matter. As you extend out your arms towards the right. Let your head go down. Watch this left knee a little bit, that it's pressing to the earth. And then eventually you'll crawl yourself all the way back to center. The head can relax, and then we'll roll it all the way up. So obviously that is not 100% complete practice. I would be honored if you would take a few moments in Shavasana for yourself so that you can contemplate, let go, breathe, do what it is that allows you to feel more centered and balanced. Just going to come up a little bit so we can be more face to face. So I really hope that you enjoyed the flow. I know that sometimes challenging postures can bring up a lot of things for ourselves, or just even if we've got wrist issues, being on our hands a lot. But this, I promise you, my friends, this is so not about the poses. And my classes are never about that. It's always about uncovering something within ourselves that we can either let go of, that we understand we need to move through. You are in a tunnel. You might have already gone through the tunnel and are now at the light at the end of it. Either way, I am so honored that you decided to join me. I'm going to keep moving on my journey, and you're going to keep moving on your journey. And our journeys are like kind of parallel, right? Remember that if you're going through something, probably someone else is going through something. And I know it's tough to sometimes see out of ourselves to actually reach out and talk to another person about maybe what they're going through, because you're going through so much. But the more support that we have for one another will not make the tunnel so dark. There is light. There is light, there is love, and there is freedom. Namaste.